Chapter 24, A Mother's Sacrifice. In the quiet solitude of her private chamber, Mary knelt in earnest prayer, her face illuminated by the soft glow of only a single candle. The room was hushed, the only sound the steady beating of her heart and the gentle rustle of her garments. Suddenly, in the midst of her devotion, a voice as clear and commanding as the dawn itself filled the air. "Mary, my daughter and spouse, it is time to offer me thy only begotten Son in sacrifice." At that moment, Mary's eyes widened in sudden, intense pain, not merely of the flesh, but of a deep, soul-wrenching grief. In an instant, she was flooded with memories and visions. She saw, as if before her very eyes, the solemn presentation of her newborns at the temple, the sight of the priest Simeon lifting the precious child, and the haunting vision of her son upon the cross. These images, both beautiful and agonizing, converged within her heart. With trembling voice and tear-filled eyes, Mary responded, "What can I offer you, Most High, that is not already yours? I acknowledge, my King, that you formed him in my womb and granted me the honor of bringing him into the world, of nursing him and protecting him from the harshness of life. From him I have received immeasurable blessings. He is the strength of my strength, the essence of my soul, the very joy of my existence. To give up my son, to satisfy the demands of his cruel enemies, is this the greatest sacrifice, a sorrow beyond words? Yet let it not be my will, but yours. Let humanity be redeemed. Let your boundless love be revealed, and let your name be glorified among all creation. Before all, I place him in your hands, that he may pay the debt, not of his own making, but of Adam's children, so that in his death he may fulfill all that the holy prophets, inspired by you, have foretold." A profound silence followed, as if the very air awaited God's reply. Then the voice returned, gentle yet powerful. "Your sacrifice is the greatest and most acceptable that has been given and received since creation, and none except that of our Son will ever be known until the end of time. For this, my beloved, you shall be rewarded." In that very moment, as if responding to the divine proclamation, a vast globe of shimmering light appeared before the grief-stricken Mary. The radiance grew, enveloping in her its warmth and clarity, and within it a vision unfolded, a glimpse into the future, so distant yet so certain. Before her eyes, she saw a renewed earth, reclaimed and transformed by God's command. Crystal clear waters flowed freely, and the land was uninhabited by sorrow. Animals roamed in joyous abundance, and birds soared in skies unclouded and blue. As the vision drew nearer, Mary perceived thousands upon thousands of children of all shapes, sizes, and colors, clad in light, pale robes of various hues. Among them moved adults, young and old, all united in their happiness. The gentle laughter of the children filled the air as they encircled a figure clothed in brilliant white, whose very presence emitted a shimmering, transcendent light. Forming a great circle of life and unity, they exemplified peace and love. Then, as though acknowledging her gaze, the central figure lifted his head, looked directly at Mary, and smiled. A smile that was unmistakably the gentle, loving smile of her precious Son, Jesus. The vision, though brief, touched Mary's heart deeply, easing her overwhelming grief with a measure of divine peace. Her wounded posture straightened ever so slightly, and she closed her eyes for a long, quiet moment, absorbing the promise of redemption and the future joy that lay ahead. Later, the day had grown somber as the time for farewell drew near. In the dim light of an early evening, Jesus, now a man of gentle resolve, stood before Mary. His eyes, full of quiet determination and compassion, met hers. Softly he spoke. "Our time of rest is ended. I must leave your loving presence and begin the work of man's redemption, the mission you first set in motion. Though I now walk this path alone, I will always rely on you as my companion and helper in preparing for my passion and death on the cross. My blessing, my love, and my protection will remain with you until I return." In those solemn words, Jesus stepped forward and embraced his mother. Mary, overwhelmed with both sorrow and pride, fell to her knees before him. Her voice, trembling yet resolute, broke the silence. "My Lord, you are truly my Son. I would count my own life as nothing if it could save yours. I would give it up again and again for you. Yet I willingly offer my Son as a sacrifice for the fulfillment of your will. With a heart both joyful and sorrowful, I ask that you allow me to share in your work and in the burden of your cross." In that poignant moment, Mary presented to him a satchel that she had lovingly prepared. But Jesus, in a tender yet decisive gesture, shook his head and did not take it. His path lay before him, and though he cherished his mother's presence, he knew the time had come to leave. With a final embrace, Jesus departed from the house. As the door closed softly behind him, Mary leaned against it, her face a portrait of heartfelt sorrow, tears streaming silently down her cheeks. In the quiet sanctity of Mary's room, where divine met human sorrow, a mother's sacrifice was offered with both grief and unwavering faith.